Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Tuesday, November 22nd, 2016. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Two representatives of the London-based Commonwealth Secretariat paid a courtesy call on the office of Premier the Honourable Vance Emery on Monday, November 21st. They are visiting the Federation on a Commonwealth initiative to advance women's political leadership in the Caribbean. Dr. Trezan Kramer, political advisor at the Commonwealth Secretariat, takes the lead on Caribbean issues.
Our visit here in Nevis is to have consultations with the political parties to get to understand their structures and how they operate in terms of attracting women into the political space, both in terms of representation and in terms of the support and participation in the party structures, and also how they support the consolidation of democracy. The issue of women's participation is very important to the Commonwealth, and it's an issue that our heads of government of all our 52 member states have said to us at our last biennial meeting that we should make a priority. And St. Kitts and Nevis have been one of the countries that we have selected where we want to try to understand better how our political parties in the Caribbean region are operating in regards to the issue of encouraging more women into the political space.
The Commonwealth Secretariat has contracted the Executive Director of SHID and Sustainable Development Solutions Limited as a consultant to undergo this phase for the Caribbean region.
Our aim is to explore with the political parties some of the advantages, disadvantages, and challenges they have with having women in their political parties. If there are any structures that exist in terms of the constitution or policies that emphasize the participation of women. And more importantly for us is to understand currently why we have such few numbers in the region of women in political participation. Is it because they want to? Is it because they don't want to? What are the challenges they face? And what are the challenges also that the party face in attracting them? So we're hoping this will be a very open dialogue with our political parties and the representatives, both men and women. And we're hoping that at the end of the day, it will generate not only discussion, but initiatives that can assist the women and the men in the Caribbean region to promote democracy.
Premier Emery thanked the Commonwealth representatives who are meeting with him to discuss the initiative.
I've had a very important discussion with them in which I sought to express to them my own history in the formation of the Concerned Citizens Movement and how we operate, and also to advise them on the involvement of women in our party. I trust that the discussion we've had will help to advance your project. And it is something which I feel is useful that you're doing, because we've had the challenge of women not wanting to willingly enter elective politics. And I hope when you shall have discussed with women throughout the region, here in Nevis and elsewhere, that there may be some process by which we could have a resolution of this involvement, greater involvement of women. Because my thing is our populations are made up of 50% women. And women are, by and large, in this day and age, the intellectual leaders in our communities. And therefore we cannot sideline them, and we need to embrace them in all our activities if we are to get the best for our Caribbean region and for our Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth Secretariat is undertaking a similar pilot in the African region. Sunday, November 20th, 2016 marked an historic day in the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis and the United Arab Emirates UAE, as officials of both countries met in Dubai to sign an air services agreement, which is intended to pave the way for future air traffic between the two countries. In a high-level ministerial meeting before the signing, St. Kitts and Nevis's Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honourable Mark Brantley, met with His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, Chairman chairman of Dubai Civil Aviation Authority and CEO and chairman of the MS Group and chairman of Dubai World, and Her Excellency Rem Al Hashimi, Minister of State and Corporation Managing Director of Expo 2020. They discussed a wide range of issues centered on the deepening and broadening of relationships between St. Kitts and Nevis and the United Arab Emirates. In addition to airlift between the United Arab Emirates and the Caribbean, the ministers discussed St. Kitts and Nevis's participation in Dubai Expo 2020, mechanisms for St. Kitts and Nevis to access the UAE's $50 million Caribbean Development Fund, the establishment of a St. Kitts and Nevis embassy in Abu Dhabi to complement the work of its consulate in Dubai, and the provision of much-needed scholarships and training to St. Kitts and Nevis's youth, particularly in tourism and other service sectors. Minister Bantley will hold additional talks with UAE officials whilst on a brief visit. He is scheduled to sign additional agreements, including a double taxation agreement, an investor protection agreement, and a visa waiver agreement. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is accompanied by St. Kitts and Nevis's Consul General, Justin Hawley, and the Deputy Consul General, Elsa Wilkin Ambister. As part of his 15-day royal visit of several Caribbean countries, Prince Henry of Wales will make his second stop in St. Kitts and Nevis tomorrow, Wednesday, November 23rd. The royal party will be welcomed and greeted at the marina at Port Zante Bastia at 9 a.m. by Governor-General His Excellency Sir Tapley Seaton, who will escort His Royal Highness to the saluting dais, where he will take the salute and inspect the guard of honor. Members of the Cabinet, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, and the Leader of the Opposition will be presented to Prince Harry, and he will greet some members of the public. Prince Harry will then proceed in convoy to the Brimstone Hill Fortress Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, for a youth rally to begin at 10:30 a.m., featuring a number of cultural performances. Representatives of schools and several young people, including Chevening scholars and Special Olympians, will be presented to Prince Harry. His Royal Highness will also unveil the St. Kitts and Nevis dedication to the Queen's Commonwealth Canopy project in the form of a plaque. Prince Harry's next engagement will be in Nevis, where the royal party will arrive by boat at the Charlestown dock at 2:30 p.m., when Prince Harry will have the opportunity to meet the Nevis Island administration and local residents. His Royal Highness will then proceed to the Four Seasons Resort for a reception. He will then meet volunteers from the Nevis Turtle Group Conservation Project on Lovers Beach. Prince Harry will be shown the turtle nesting sites and learn more about Nevis's conservation efforts to protect these endangered species. The royal party will then return to St. Kitts, where Prince Harry will be hosted to an invitation-only reception by His Excellency the Governor-General at Government House at 6:30 p.m. During the visit to St. Kitts, an investiture ceremony will also be held in the State Room at Government House, where former Governor-General of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Sir Edmund Lawrence, will formally receive his knighthood from Prince Harry, acting on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Still to come, 14 persons graduate from preschool teachers workshop. The details after this break.
At a loss as to what's going on in Nevis? Tune into NNC on NTV. Don't worry if you don't have cable either. NNC will bring the news to you wherever you are. Facebook and Facebook Live. YouTube and YouTube Live. NevisTVOnline.com. Roku app, NTV mobile app, Smart TV, Apple TV, and any other IPTV platforms. When me ANC and you ANC, NNC.
Welcome back. 14 persons have graduated from a 6-week Basic Needs Trust Fund BNTF-sponsored orientation for new preschool teachers workshop. The closing ceremony for the workshop took place at the Department of Education's conference room on Thursday, November 17th. The facilitators of the workshop were education officers responsible for early childhood development, Florence Smithen and Donnie Lance. Smithen outlined the objectives of the workshop.
To make teachers aware of the characteristics of a good early childhood program and develop an awareness of the high-scope curriculum. To expose participants to the physical, emotional, social and intellectual needs, and characteristics of preschoolers and the implementation of working with them. To help teachers develop teaching skills which will enable them to implement the high scope program and enable them to plan developmentally appropriate activities for children 3 to 5 years of age. To help teachers create teaching, learning materials from low-cost, no-cost materials to assist them in their creation of a classroom environment that encourages positive behavior.
Project Coordinator for the Basic Needs Trust Fund, Alsted Pemberton, gave words of advice to the participants and congratulated the facilitators for the successful hosting of the workshop.
Whatever you would have learned in this training workshop, make sure you use it to the best of your ability to develop the children that are in your control, so that at the end of the day, whatever they live with would be something positive and not something negative. I want to take the opportunity also to congratulate all the facilitators who would have worked hard with you, the participants.
Pemberton, along with Smithton, distributed certificates of completion to the 14 participants who performed various songs and poems throughout the ceremony. Also present at the closing ceremony was Principal Education Officer Palsy Wilkin. On Monday, students from 4 primary schools on the island participated in an elementary school puppet show as part of the activities for Inland Revenue Department IRD Week. The students performed skits involving the different tax types at the department. The Ivor Walters Primary School emerged winners with their presentation on tourism development levy.
Not saying you're talking for tax evasion. People are being jailed all the time in America for tax evasion. Me? No matter here at pay for America. Everything America do, I want to do. I hope I want to stay happy America. No, let Trump are the president-elect. I'm going west. I hear Trump don't pay his taxes. The woman, and he got money. The woman poor me must pay. Can we have a look at your book so we can work something out? What book? My bank book? Why I want to see my bank book for? I go to Ada. Oh, no. Not your bank book. You mean your book of daily business transactions. I don't have the books. Mrs. Brown, don't you keep records of your income and expenditure? Yes, I do, but then I do. Mrs. Brown, we have the authority to examine your books at any time. So can you please have them down? I already tell I don't mean about the books. My record is in my head. Mrs. Brown, every good business owner keeps records of their daily business transactions. Well, me's a bad one.
The second position went to the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School with its presentation on property tax. The other participating schools were Jocelyn Liebert Primary, who presented on wheel tax, and the Charleston Primary School, who did a presentation on withholding tax. Meantime, Assistant Comptroller Rhonda Thompson reminds of the upcoming activities. On Wednesday, we will have our Taxpayer Appreciation Day, where any person who comes into the department and pay their taxes will be given a token of appreciation from us here at the department. On Thursday, we will have our tax trivia on the streets, where we will walk about Charlestown and ask questions about inland revenue and its taxes, and you can win prizes there again once you know your taxes. On Friday, we will have our annual bake sale. We're asking you to come out and support. And on Saturday, we conclude with our interdepartmental sports day, where we'll have lots of fun competing against other departments, such as the water department and the customs and excise department. This evening at 8 o'clock, staff at the Inland Revenue Department will be the guests on One Radio's Let's Talk program, offering prizes to persons who call in to answer questions about taxes collected by the department. The theme for this year's celebration of IRD Week is Know Your Taxes, Pay Your Taxes. That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Good night.